really do love these old-timey bridges. And is that the Mississippi down there? Deep River, the old man. We are now making our way directly into Iowa. Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. Self-pumping gas nozzle and caffeine. It's a good way to start the day. Ooh, that's good. And it looks as if this fuel station is being protected by a higher power. It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. It's TheDailyWoo. I have left the pavements and now cruising down this dirt road en route to somewhere I've always wanted to go. If you build it, he will come. Well, I'm on my way. Finally, I get to see this place with my own eyes. Growing up, I loved the game of baseball as much as anyone ever has. In the mid-'80s, I collected all the cards, knew all the players, watched all the movies, and of all those films, a couple resonate still, decades later in my mind, on why I love the American pastime so much. And I can see it from here. I can see, oh my gosh, I've arrived to the Field of Dreams. I can't believe I'm actually here. This is incredible. It looks just as it did in 1989. It's like going back in time. It might take me a minute or two, I have to be honest, for me to fully wrap my head around the fact that I am standing behind home plate of the famous field that was carved out of the corn. If you've never seen the movie, I highly encourage you to go watch it. Kevin Costner plays a farmer who hears a ghost, a voice in the cornfield telling him to plow down his crop and build a baseball field. And it's pretty awesome that it's in full bloom. I'm walking out just like the players did. Is this heaven? Nah, it's Iowa. The character of Terrence Mann, played by James Earl Jones, stated so prominently that people will come, Ray. And they have. My goodness, there's way more people out here than I was expecting. And they've also added quite a bit of merchandise to a gift shop that has been constructed on the property. Look at this, cutest little slugger. And while the parking and admission to gaze at the filming location is free, in order to gain access to the house, you have to purchase a ticket, which I just did, and I'm about to go inside. And they're making us take our shoes off before entering, or you can use these little foot covers, but I opted just to remove my shoes to protect the house.
Amy actually is preparing a meal here, and their daughter Karen is watching a movie called Harvey on the TV there with Jimmy Stewart. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the movie Harvey with Jimmy Stewart, but for those of you who might not be, Harvey obviously is this big 6'4" tall invisible rabbit that only Jimmy Stewart can see. Well, that's symbolic with the Field of Dreams, in that the Kinsellas were the only ones who could see Shoeless Joe, if you remember, during a good portion of the movie. He actually moved on to be in quite a few different movies and plays since then. She's received nominations for awards for some of the movies she's been in. Of course, Amy Madigan moved on, and she also received a Golden Globes Award for one of the movies that she was in after she left the Field of Dreams, and I'm sure she's gotten some awards for other movies as well. And of course, Kevin Costner, we know he's been in movie after movie after movie after movie, so I'm certain he's got a lot of awards that I'm not even aware of. But their daughter Karen was in the next room, and if you remember, she tried to get their attention, and Ray kept telling her, in a moment, Karen, you know, in a moment, in a moment. They were going over her finances. Finally, after about the fourth attempt, she did get their attention when she said, but there's a man standing out in our lawn. That, of course, being the first appearance by Shoeless Joe Jackson on the property, It got their attention. They went and looked right away, had to lift their spirits because now they actually had a ball player that did come out on the field where they spent all the money building that field with the anticipation of probably a lot more ball players, which we know from watching the movie that there were later on.
There's a ball signed by James Earl Jones right there.
Turn this way and look out this window. This is where Ray sees Shoeless Joe on the ball field for the very first time. A lot of people like to go over and get a picture from through the window there out onto the field. Always somebody out in the field playing or just running the bases, and you can see there's quite a few people out there right now. Sue Rydell was recruited from the Dubuque area. It's about 20 minutes to the east of here. She was actually a volunteer for the Iowa Film Office, and she also managed what's called Bell Tower Theater in Dubuque. So she had quite a bit of knowledge of what movies were all about. So they recruited her to come out into this Midwest and try to find a farm like what they wanted. So what actually did they all want? They wanted a typical old two-story farmhouse, square or rectangular in shape. They wanted the classic white clapboard siding that most 95% of farmhouses had on them. They also wanted the farm not to be real big because they just wanted a small Iowa farm for Ray, Karen, and Annie, so they didn't want no silos or anything like that on it. But they did want it big enough for a ball field, and they wanted it to have western exposure for the sunset silhouette scenes that they did, and they also wanted a long lane coming down into the farm.
And this also grants me permission to sit on the porch swing overlooking the field. How cool is that?
All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of film you there, and then I'm going to back up and try to get where you can see the whole house on there.
There you go. Just like I'm in the movie.
Yeah, just like you're in the movie. That shows the whole house now. Then I'll zoom back in again. And if there's any parts of the house you want me to film, I'll film to the side. And then I'll film a little bit over to this side here as well. Okay, anything else? Or?
That's it. Thank you very much.
Alrighty.
That was a great tour.
Here, I'll just hand it to you and you can shut it off there because I'm not sure where you're off.
Okay, thank you. He was telling me that during the time of filming, the entire state was under a drought. So the fire department brought in excess water to fill up this drainage ditch, and they would pump water and spray the corn down nightly. This backfired a little bit because the corn was so tall that Kevin Costner could not stick his head above it for the scenes that he needed to film. So when he's walking amongst the corn at the beginning and halfway through the movie, he would have been level with what I'm at, but the camera angle needed to show him above the corn, so they built wooden platforms going for many, many, many yards for him to walk on. And these power lines were also rerouted during filming. In fact, they removed them from this spot and took them all the way across those cornfields. And when they were done, they put them all back in their proper places, poles and all. These are the exact wooden bleachers that have been sitting here for nearly 30 years where Karen fell down, choking on the hot dog, and Moonlight Graham, played by Burt Lancaster, walked right there, turned from a young ball player back into the doctor, and saved her life. It's incredible. They still remain. And an interesting fact, that was the last scene, last movie and last scene he was ever in. You'll notice this carving here that states, "Ray loves Annie." That was inscribed by Kevin Costner during the filming of the movie. It still remains. That's incredible. It's hard to believe that's the spot that James Earl Jones was sitting. He stood up and he gave that iconic speech. Why, it's money they have, but peace they lack. People will come, Ray. Oh yes, people will come. As I stand on second base, I can't help think of Moonlight Graham's wish to round the bases, to turn a double into a triple, to slide face first into third. Wrap your hands around the bag. That's my wish, Ray Kinsella. And is there enough magic in the moonlight to grant this wish? Now that I'm here, I have to say, There just might be. For $70, you can get a recreation of the bus. Or, for only $8, a smaller version. Little teenier and tinier. Or if you're so inclined, a deck of cards, or maybe even a thimble. And this is a pretty sweet necklace here with the catcher's mitt. Is that a catcher's mitt, or is that might be a first? It's a mitt of some sort with a ball in it and states the name of the place. And I think this would be a perfect time for the epic reveal, bringing back the Majestic over the field, up high in the sky, over the corn, getting a bird's eye view of this fantastic late 80s filming location, and now historic spot that has a lot of meaning to a lot of people, including me. I never thought I would get here. There was a point in my life that I never realized I would actually accomplish my goal of setting foot down on this grass and sand. That may have been the final flight of my drone. The Majestic, it's just not working correctly. Even getting those shots were very difficult. Had to keep launching it, bringing it back, launching it, bringing it back. It just was not connecting, and the biggest issue was not only the gimbal, but the fact that the footage was not showing up on that. There was a whole mishmash of problems. This thing has been to heck and back. It served me well. But if you don't see this beautiful piece of machinery again, you know why. You've done your duty. You can... I might still try to use it. I might still try to... I'll keep trying to use it. But if you don't see it again, it's because it's acting up quite... It's giving me hints that it doesn't want to take any more flights. This truly is an amazing place. People of all ages come out here to run the bases. He's about to touch home. He made it. I love it here. Time to depart. And as that sign states, thanks for visiting. Keep dreaming. And I'm going on my merry way, just like Kevin Costner. I have to imagine more than one or two people have shed a tear upon arrival to that very special place. Such an incredible film and a tearjerker. Some compare it to The Notebook for men, and I tend to agree. Gets me every time. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Vlog over.